doing? Yes, I hope that you're well and that you've had an amazing day yesterday kutoka tulipoachana, and that your night has been a blessed one, an amazing one, and we thank the Lord for yet another beautiful day on Thursday. And you know, every Thursday what we do here is the Bible review, and today is going to be really amazing. We agreed yesterday kila mtu ende asome Biblia yake tu vizuri, so that today as we come and we continue reading utakuwa up to date. Hautakuwa nashtuka tu kila mahali ndo like what happened, Jacob did what? Hapana, tutakuwa tunajua the storyline, so that we'll just have to listen and get the insight of the same. Otherwise, karibuni sana. This is MBCI TV ambapo tunabadilisha maisha by the grace of God, and the show on air ni the one and only Raushwa, ambapo tuna Raushwa, tunachangamshwa, tunabarikiwa. This is the place to be. And today, definitely, as always, siko peke yangu, I'm here with the one and only.
Yes, very good morning.
Yeah, niko poa, God is good.
Okay.
Happy and blessed. Yes, very happy to be here.
Another amazing Thursday. So a very good morning, dear viewers, from wherever you're watching us from. I trust and hope that you're well and the Lord has kept you this far. That is more than enough reason to give gratitude unto God, kwa sababu si kawaida. Sawa sawa. So today, kama kawaida, vemembewa na Rachel, tutakuwa na the Bible exposition, which is going to be very, very amazing. But before that, tutaanza na the B for J, okay? Billboard for Jesus. And then you're going to get into the daily updates, because you're a Kenyan. And because of that, you deserve to know what has been happening within the country and beyond. And then after that, we're going to have Tega Sikio. Na ya leo, it's for each and every one of us. So make sure umekaribia ndo uweze kujifunza one thing ama something that is going to carry you through till the rest of your life, okay? And then after that, tutakuwa na the Bible exposition, of course, with Pastor David Mwangi. And we are looking at the book of Genesis, which is very, very interesting. Tumefika kwa story ya Jacob, tumeacha Isaac kama amepaswa. So we're going to pick it up from there, then we continue. Alafu, afterwards, we're going to have today's inspirations and today's inspiration and the beautiful, beautiful songs. Okay? So make sure you tag along with us all the way till 10 in the AM for your life to be impacted. Remember, hapa ni MBCI TV, ambapo tunabadilisha maisha. Okay? By the grace of God. Yes. So tupate the B for J, Billboard for Jesus.
Yep.
So that tujue leo ni nini ambacho tunaangalia. Okay. Inasema wicked souls love to make trouble. They feel nothing for friends and neighbors. That is derived from Proverbs chapter 21 verse 10.
Unaona vile leo ina speak volumes. Right from
wicked.
Vile tu it speaks volume.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said for Billboard for Jesus, you can always get it on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and yeke pale kwa status yako, make sure that people can see, because it's a billboard. Billboard for Jesus, so that everyone will know that Jesus loves you and what Jesus is telling us this beautiful day. Ama namna gani?
Exactly.
Yep. So for now, tutakuwa tukiingia ndani ya the daily updates, so that we'll get to see what's happening in our country and beyond. And of course, today in Dania the Daily Updates, we'll be looking at 2 news items from Kenya and 1 from outside Kenya, 1 international news. And today, onto our news, we'll be starting with a news item where the Auditor General reveals counties operating more than 200 bank accounts. The Auditor General has unearthed massive looting in counties through the operation of multiple bank accounts that are used to siphon taxpayers' money. While appearing before the Senate Special Funds Committee, chaired by Vihiga Senator Geoffrey Osoti, Auditor General Nancy Gathungu revealed that some counties illegally operate more than 200 bank accounts. It further emerged that duplicate bank accounts are opened under several departments, but the money banked in is channeled to other uses. In her response, Gathungu said that more than 10 bank accounts to me is a no. So operating 300 bank accounts does not make sense to me at all. The Auditor General further told the Senate that some of the bank accounts are allocated millions of shillings and purport to pay for services under the national government's purview. In the latest Controller of Budget report, Kericho, Nyandarua, Machakos, Lamu counties were listed as counties that registered the lowest collection, falling below target. According to the Senate session, they either failed to submit all their collections to the consolidated fund or set up an ambitious target. On the other hand, Uasin Gishu, Meru, Wajir and Narok counties exceeded their collection target during the reporting period, with their collections matching their overall revenue target. Yep. And on to our second news item today is that county workers issued 21-day national-wide strike notice over lack of salary review since 2012. County government workers are now demanding salary increment, failure to which they will stage a national-wide strike within 21 days. The Union Secretary General Robert Duba, in a statement on Wednesday, referred to the increment of salaries for the larger cadre of civil servants, which was affected earlier this week, saying that the public service is discriminating against county workers by not replicating the same increment. He issued a 21-day ultimatum for the government to increase the salaries, failure to which all county workers, including ECDE teachers, sewermen, firemen, enforcement officers, garbage collectors, revenue clerks, parking attendants, TVET instructors, mortuary attendants, and ambulance attendants would go on strike. According to the union, President William Ruto has failed to live up to his promise of effecting the 7 to 10% salary increase to all county workers as a cushion against the effects of the high cost of living and inflation after the same was done to other civil servants. The announcement by the union comes after government announced a salary increment between 1,000 to 3,000 backdated to July 1st to avert the planned strike of civil workers. Public Service Principal Secretary Amos Gathecha said that civil servants will also receive a higher house allowance. Yep. And on to our national news today is that Burkina Faso issues new passports without West African Bloc's logo. Burkina Faso has launched new biometric passports without the logo of West Africa main political and economical bloc on their cover, further signaling its determination to withdraw from the regional alliance after military leader took power in a coup. Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali, three neighboring states now led by military juntas, jointly announced in January that they would leave the 15-member Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which has since sought to persuade three to consider their decision. ECOWAS has warned that the three countries' withdrawal would undermine the freedom of movement and common market of the 400 million people living under the 50-year-old bloc. Their departure comes as their armies battle groups linked to Qaeda and the Islamic State, whose insurers have destabilized the West African Central Sahel region over the past decade and threatened to spill over into the coastal states. Yes. So that is it on today's daily updates. But of course, for more news, you'll be getting them on MBCI Radio, where we have an amazing team right there preparing some news for you. Now, on the Tega Sikio today, you'll be getting something. Kama vile tumeambiwa na Sylvia, today's Tega Sikio is for each and everyone. So I'm sure that you learned something. So for now, wacha tuingie ndani ya Tega Sikio.
Tega Sikio.
Okay.
So kwa hii story, we have a guy. Let's give him a name.
Mark.
Yeah. Amazing. So tuko na a guy anaitwa Mark. Okay. So this guy alikuwa anaishi kwa village. Okay. And unfortunately, wazazi wake walikuwa wamepass on when he was younger.
Okay.
So alikuwa anaraisiwa na the Guka. Sawa. So they used to live, obviously Guka anaishi Ushago.
Yeah.
So that's where he used to live. And now, so unajua maisha Ushago venye kuna kuanga, venye kijiji tu kuna kuaga. Mkiamka mnaenda shamba pamoja, mnaenda mnafanya kazi pamoja, mna harvest pamoja. Like kulikuwa na hiyo unity ya people working together and all that. But now for Mark, alikuwa anajiseclude sana. Na akijiseclude na the rest of the people, seti kuna kazi anafanya. Yeye alikuwa anaenda tu anakande, anaenda mahali mali kuna ka slope hivi, anaenda analala hapo from morning all the way till jioni.
Okay.
Like akiamka hapo labda aende akule alafu arudi. Like that was his routine. On a daily. So yeye anaamka, anakula breakfast, ambia guka mimi nimeenda. Anaenda anatafuta tu mali pazuri, mali green nini, analala. Lunch time anaenda anakula, anarudi. Analala hivyo. So that was his routine. Watu wakiamka kwenda kufanya kazi, yeye alikuwa like why should I go? Mbona ni struggle. So hiyo ndio ilikuwa like his everyday routine. And now it began worrying his grandfather. Ako like, hapana. Na sasa kwenye alikuwa anakaa kwa kijiji, ilikuwa na sceneries nyingi.
Okay.
Kulikuwa na mountains, kulikuwa na hills. For people wenye wanapenda travel and adventure and all that, they know how that process ya kupanda mlima, it's very fun. That hiking process inakuanga very very fun. But sasa Mark, yes, anishi place ziko na scenery, but ashaitoka kwenda kuona. Apana, let me just go chill and relax. I don't want any pressure. Life, we only live once, so like wacha tuende nilale ni relax.
Really?
Okay? So at no particular point wame surrounded on mountains, very beautiful hills. Lakini hakuna time atatoka kwa nyumba aseme ati ameenda kutembea. And sasa hii behavior ya Mark kidogo ikaanza kusumbua grandfather yake. Ako, hii sipendi. But sasa unajua tena for grandparents venye nilikuwa nasema some other time, walikuanga na good relationship. Wanakuanga na good relationship in there. Not all, but most of them. Wanakuanga na very good relationships with their grandchildren. Na watakangi kuharibu. Alafu sasa unaona with Mark's grandfather alikuwa anaona like hana wazazi, so I am everything to him. If I approach it in a wrong manner, ni hivyo, I will lose him for life. So ilibidi akuwe careful na approach yake. So he sat for a while and thought about it and akadecide atafanya kitu, okay? So this one fine morning, the grandfather wakes up, he makes breakfast, akamsha Mark kama kawaida, akamwambia kuja, breakfast is ready. So akakula. So wakati Mark anatoka akienda, the grandfather akamwambia leo sitaki utoke uende kwa unaendanga ku relax. Today I want us to do something a bit different.
Okay.
And Mark akozile za different na nini, mi siko interested, like wacha tu niende ni chill. The grandfather is like hapana, hii utapenda. Ako like okay, sawa, let me listen. Akamwambia nataka kutuma mahali. Mwambia okay, sawa. Akamwambia unaona ile mountain? Mwambia so the mountain ilikuwa na 3 different peaks, okay? So kumwambia unaona ile peak yenye inakuanga very high kabisa? Mwambia nataka kutuma huko. Mark is like, si utafute mtu mwingine tu, mtu aende juu. Hata anajua hata haizi panda juu, ako like mimi nitakuwa nishachoka. Akamwambia hapana. Chenye nakutuma is a very special mission that I can't just speak anyone. You're the only person I trust to go and do this.
Okay.
So kwa zile za okay. Kwa like sasa me and my grandfather, we just have each other na anasema I'm the only person he trusts, so let me just listen to what he has to say. So the grandfather akamwambia unaona ukipanda hiyo peak uteremke, utapata cave.
Okay. Sawa?
Ndani hiyo cave kitambo, wakati ambapo nilikuwa mjana nilikuwa nafanya kazi, kuna treasure nilikuwa nimepata. Sawa? Na tukaficha ndani hiyo cave. And out of everyone mwenye alipata hiyo treasure, I'm the only person who is left alive. And I have to retrieve it, otherwise ikibaki hapo itasahaulika. So Mark is like, okay, unataka aje? Akamwambia so what I want you to do is nataka uamke saa hizi juu ni asubuhi bado, uende before jioni ifike uko usharudi, juu mtu akikuona nayo anaweza kunyang'anya. So Mark is curious, hii treasure ni nini? Like is it worth it kupanda the highest peak, nishuke niingie kwa cave alafu nirudi all the way? Akamwambia nikikwambia ni treasure, jua ni something very very precious. Kwa hivyo enda, go and get it and bring it. Sawa? So that kama Mark was not used to all that work na nini, ako like okay, it's a wish from my grandfather, so let me just do it. Let me just do it for him. Si akaanza mlima. And so remember it's a mountain, so he's hiking, he's climbing, ameanza safari. Obviously amebeba vitu light, like something to eat on the way, nini maji ya kunywa, alafu sasa kuna zile hiking gear, like jua anapanda kamlima. So akaenda, akapanda. So kumbuka ni mtu mwenye hajazoea kufanya kazi strenuous na nini. By the time hata hajaenda mbali alikuwa na sweat. Alikuwa amechoka. But ako like I'm determined, let me do this for my grandfather. So akaendelea. So akafika juu. Nakumbuka haje hata enda like kuvisit like ziko kwao lakini yeye returned aketi relax. Yeah. So he had never seen the view from the peak. So ako kwa peak ako wow. Just wow. This place inakaa vizuri like ni kusupu, you know. So akasema wacha nisiharakishe sana, let me just take in the view because the place looks beautiful. So anaangalia kwa dia anaona kuna kuangana river mahali akoleka hata sikuwa najua kuna kuangana river. Anaangalia on this other side like it's just very very beautiful from up there. And it's the first time he's experiencing it. So he took his time to enjoy everything, enjoy the moment and nini. Alafu akaanza kuembark on the journey kuteremka. Sasa wakati ambapo anateremka, anaanguka. He has never hiked before. He doesn't know how hiking is done. Anaenda anategwa na mawe. Ana sijui anagua rona thicket. Hajui hata bush inakuanga na nini na miba like alienda tu it was a very strenuous nini for him, experience for him. So ameenda hata kama alipitia mambo mingi akafika kwa hiyo cave yenye alikuwa ameexplainiwa na the grandfather. Okay? Na akaingia ndani. Na akakumbuka venye tu aliambiwa ukienda upige hivi kona, kuna mahali utaona mawe, toa hiyo mawe, ukichimba chimba kidogo kuna mawe mengine, toa hiyo mawe, alafu utapata the treasure is there. And akafuata instructions zenye alipewa. Akaenda, akachimba, kanini, akatoa na akapata karatasi like imefunika kitu. Soko, okay, this is interesting. So akaitoa. Na sasa kuifungua hiyo karatasi akapata there was a chunk of gold. There was a chunk of gold. It was like, oh, alikuwa smart this whole time kafikiria guka kidogo alikuwa ananicheza lakini kumbe it was real. There was something, there was a treasure there. So he was very excited akoleka nime accomplish sasa ni kurudi. Akiimagine nje amekuja.
Anachoka times 2.
Akachoka. Akasema kwanza nikae hapo because nani anarudi hivyo vyote. Akiimagine the fact that kwanza kuteremka venye alikuwa enda akianguka anategwa na mawe, anapitia mahali kuna miba juu hata juu venye mimea zinakaa juu. Yeye alikuwa tu anakaa tu akichill. So akaimagine hiyo njia ya kurudi akajiambia, naona ni kama itakuwa ngumu kidogo. So akakaa kidogo, akakunywa maji, akakula food alikuwa nayo. And then akiwa amekaa tu hapo, akakumbuka like what he saw, like the view from the peak. So akajiambia, let me just try get to the peak and then from there tutaona venye I will be able to go down there. So akajipika hata kama alikuwa anasikia mimi sijisikii kufanya kitu but niko hapa, let me just go. So akaamka, akapanda tena all the way akafika kwa peak. Asa akifika kwa peak ilikuwa sunset. Ashaiona sunset akiwa kwa peak ya mountain kweli?
Wapi?
Na mountain imeishi wapi? Kwenye anaishi like around their home place lakini hajawahi ona. So amefika ameona venye the horizon inakaa, anaona venye ina reflect kwa the river, anaona alafu kumbuka sasa ni ushago. So everything is green, kuna miti, kuna nini. Just there by himself is like wow.
I know.
Wow, this is just so yani inakaa tu vizuri, you can't even put it into words. So he was just marveling at how beautiful the place looked. And then after akapata like unaona ushaikuwa excited to a point whereby ulikuwa umechoka lakini nguvu inakuja. Sijui inakupata aje lakini just find you strong because you're like your excitement. Akateremka na akarudi all the way. So alikuwa anafika nyumbani jioni. Na guka akampata kwa mlango akamwambia umerudi Mark, karibu sana. Kolexio wakati amechoka, amefika akihema,
kulala.
Nguo zake zingine zimeraruka, yani alikuwa tu amechoka mbaya sana. So amefika na akamwambia Gooks nilifanya chini ulisema ndo mimi nimekuja na the treasure. Akamwambia that's nice. Akachukua the treasure from him. Alafu akamwambia sasa I want us to go have supper. They had supper and then wakakiti. So they used to like bond. Wanakatu kwa fireplace. Unajua ni ushago so nile kuna kachimni hapo. So wamekaa tu hapo hivyo kula story. So akiwa amekaa the grandfather asked him, what have you learned from today's journey? So Maka akamwambia, Guksocha kwanza nikwambie, mimi sikuwa najua hii place ni rembo hivyo. Like mimi sikuwa najua kuna river. So the grandfather is like, sasa wewe na unashinanga ukilala utajua aje? Mimi nikitoka nikienda kufanya kazi na wale wengine, tunaendanga tunaona hizi vitu zote. But wewe unakanga to the same place. Ako like I didn't know, like it was so exciting kuona such a beautiful view Haya. So the grandfather akamwambia, keep telling me more. Akasema the moment nilifika kwa peak niliona vyakula vizuri, niko na rive, niko na nini. Akamwambia sasa nikateremka nikaenda kwa cave, venye tu explainia nikafanya hivyo na nikazipata. Alafu hiyo kurudi kidogo nilikuwa bit nilikuwa ni kama nilikuwa na imagine hiyo njia yote. Afa akamwambia but what happened? Akamwambia lakini nikakumbuka ile view niliona before, nikafeel lazima tu nirudi nione tena. So ikanipea motivation nikaweza kupanda. Alafu sasa from there kuona hiyo view kwanza jioni. Ka horizon kajua pale mwisho venye kanashuka. I was so excited. Nikasema this is it. Sasa kutoka hapo I was so excited. Yani nilikuwa na energy, nikajipata nimefika hadi home. Fika kwa mlango ndo nikachoka tena. So my father was like, so you take my kula story to akicheka. Then the grandfather akamwambia, now I want you to listen to me very well. Sawa sawa? Over the past couple of years zenye tumeishi pamoja na wewe, umekuwa tu na one routine. Kuamka kwenda kurelax. Kuamka kwenda kurelax, nothing more. Lakini leo I wanted you to learn something important. Akamwambia as I was sending you ulikuwa 50-50 uko like nitaweza si feel kuenda bana. Sijazoea hiki kitu, sijazoea kuna kupanda mlima, kufanya nini, like hizo vitu sijazoea. But sasa nikakuconvince and you agreed to it. You've explained venye journey ilianza, you didn't feel like going. Haya, ukaanza safari, ukafika kwa peak, ukasema you felt excited. Sindio? The beautiful things that you saw, they excited you and you had never seen them before. Kamza, why didn't you get a chance to see them before ama to experience them? So makakaketi kwanza kanyamaza. Unajua sana ile sasa kuassess behavior yake na pattern yake. Like by the way, like I've been here for hizi miaka zote lakini sijaipata chance ya kwenda kuona. Na akiambiwa peane valid reason, hakuna. There's no valid reason. Now this is like most of us. Kuna hizo experiences zenye ziko around us that we ought to go and reach out to. But remember, in everything, it's always a process. You have to go through the journey. Just like Mark took the journey towards the peak of the mountain, ashuke ndo aweze kuingia kwa cave. Lakini for us, unafeel, hiyo process bana ni kubwa. Heriniketi hapa, ni relax. Ama useme nitaifanya kesho, procrastination, another form of laziness altogether. Alafu sometimes we use this thing, akimi sina time. Sina time. Sina time. For anything that's important, you're going to create time for it. Whether it's learning that new skill, whether it's starting that side hustle, a full-time business. Like, if you really put your mind to it, you can achieve it. Now, this is what the grandfather aliambia Mark. Instead of focusing on the laziness bit of everything and procrastinating everything, you need to focus on the determination and growth aspect of it. If you're determined to get somewhere, you will get there. And that determination is what will bring about the growth. If you're determined to do something, no matter how many times you fail, you will get up and go again. Mark alianguka, akagua roa na everything. But he still got up and kept going. Because the moment you get at the peak, the view, it'll all be worth it. Iyo struggle yote nyomepitia, the failures. Because if you're planning to succeed, you must be prepared to fail. And not fail just once. You'll fail so many times. Like, zoea to kufail. Because like, there's
learn from it.
There was someone who I was following, a very renowned person, Denzel Washington. Na alikuwa nasema ya kwamba, alikuwa napeana tips how to be successful. And number one akasema, put God first. That was his very first point. Put God first. And then akakuja kwa the second point. Be prepared to fail. And not just fail, to fail big. Because from that big failure is where you'll get your biggest life lessons that will carry you through so far. So don't let laziness, don't let procrastination hold you back. Because the moment you get at the peak, you'll realize all these things that I've been through, all this pain that I've been through, the struggle to get there, it was all worth it. So that is the Tiger Secure for today.
And also there's someone who said, if you prepare to really fail, it means that mahali uta-fail ama mahali utafika and you're not doing well, already ulikuwa na expectation kama nataka kufika hapa, lazima nitaumia nitagwara because it's through the process, you're walking there or you're getting there. Kwa hivyo, if you're already planning to go through the process, go through it sana, you're already prepared. Also, if you don't, it will be a plus. So always have the mindset here, kama hapa ndo nataka kwenda, of course lazima ni kama mtoto akianza kutembea lazima aanguke mara kadhaa nini but in all this you're trusting God that will be able to get there. So mahali unataka kufika usi give up. Usi give up. Sometimes tunakuanga very comfortable na mahali tuko like I don't think nataka ku struggle, but it's very beautiful at the top. It's really beautiful at the top. So hata kama uta struggle to get there. Sawa sawa?
Yes.
So that's the Tega Secure for today. Tuambie what you've learned from the same through our numbers 0721 105 105 on WhatsApp, 23814, our SMS code, which is absolutely free. Of course, we're live on Facebook on MBCI TV, and we are live on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. So we're going for a very short break. Tukirudi, we'll be coming back to look at the Bible exposition, the book of Genesis. Kama vile tulikuwa tumewa explainia tukianza. So usiende mbali, we'll be having an amazing time. So a very short break, and then we'll be coming right back.
For a 3-day revival fire conference Nakuru, internationally renowned, anointed servant of God, Brother Seymour and Lazarus of Jesus Redeems Ministry from India will be ministering. Hosted by Apostle John Kemani William, the director of the National Prayer Committee. Join believers from all denominations from Friday 6th to Sunday 8th September 2024, daily from 9 a.m. at the Harvest Cathedral inside Kingdom Seekers Fellowship, Nakuru, as we gather for 3 days of prayers, worship, destiny-defining messages, and life-changing encounters with God. Revival Fire Conference Nakuru is an interdenominational conference, free and
happy, happy, happy turnings! Hey! Get ready for non-stop adventures and lots of fun! Each episode is packed with engaging stories, vibrant animations, catchy songs, educational session, and unforgettable moments.
She sells seashells at the seashore. Hey!
We inspire and empower young minds as we develop important life skills while having a blast. Join us every Saturday on your favorite channel from 9:30 a.m. as we have an amazing time. Don't miss out!
Experience a journey of spiritual elevation and immerse yourself in the most uplifting worship moments. Watch the best of worship culmination every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. It's an awe-inspiring event featuring anointed worshippers and going beyond the studio to connect with young souls eager to embrace the divine presence in educational institutions. Get ready to elevate your spirit and embrace the true essence of worship with Maria Omondi and her incredible team of worshippers.
Usimiss kwenda mbinguni. Madhiti na makeki. This is serious.
Doctrines continue to differ.
So let everybody examine their doctrine.
Debates are on the rise.
Sodom, this was the same thing that is happening today.
And the information is plenty.
People go to the wrong sources expecting to get the right answers.
Amidst all these, what is the truth?
This judgment is not based on sin.
The Bible is clear, and there is an answer for every query. Ask the Ministers of God show every Saturday, 8:30 p.m.
Are you ready to unlock the secrets behind successful career choices? Join us for an eye-opening journey as we delve deep into the minds of professionals from various career fields.
So what is your take on employment?
I think that employment has been misdefined.
Don't miss the insights and the knowledge that will equip you for your success. Meet the HR every Friday from 8:30 p.m. with Sylvia Wanja. And remember, there is no luck in career, but but it's when opportunity meets preparation.
In a world filled with secrets, betrayals, and unexpected twists, two sisters are about to collide in ways they never imagined, lighting a fire that will shake their lives to the core. And now, there's the old cycle of pain and betrayal. Yet, a new challenge is at hand. Join Hadassah on a journey of redeeming her destiny every Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
The Virtuous Woman Show brings to you authentic stories from all women of all walks of life.
You start going to the bar to watch football.
Yes.
And you started just as going to watch football.
No, I was intentional.
Why do you want to kill these babies? And I'm looking at him and I'm asking, what babies?
Through their experiences, we are able to enlighten and encourage each other.
He strangled me, pushed me to the ground, and the first thing he asked for was my M-Pesa PIN.
He proposed, and that's when I said,
people will come to understanding and knowledge that this one, she's not just a religious woman. She's a called woman.
Catch the Virtuous Woman Show every Sunday from 6 p.m. with Sheila Juma.
Marriage is not a mark of completeness, nor is singlehood a mark of incompleteness. Most people look forward to married life, but when is the right time to start a relationship?
The two shall become one, isn't it? A man should not do this, a woman should not do this, I would say, unless it is a function. These others can be negotiated.
Marriages are meant for us to enjoy and not endure one another.
For better, for worse. That is what we call an affirmative covenant. Are we showing fidelity?
Don't miss the Marriage Classroom to learn more about relationships and marriage.
Relations in a relationship that is not yet in, joined together, you are not in marriage, is a no. It will never be right now, it will never be right tomorrow. It will never be okay, even in the future.
Every Sunday, only on MBCI TV.
All right, we are back after that very short break, and we're here so that you can get into the topic of discussion today. And today we all know that we always do Bible review. Okay?
Yes.
And or rather the Bible exposition. And today we are going to be continuing with the story of Jacob, which tulifanya vizuri sana last week, and I know that as we said, kila mtu asome Biblia alafu mtuambie what you learned from last week as you continue from mahali tuliachia. But before we do that, tutakuwa tunaangalia some of the feedbacks ambazo zimekuja kutokana na Tega Sikio of the day, like 3 so that we can get into the topic of discussion, sindio?
Okay.
Anasema #Tega Sikio. Anasema praise God.
Amen.
I'm Glory Njuguna from Karatina, and from today's Tega Sikio, I've learned that whenever we fall, we should rise up and keep moving. #never give up.
Amazing.
Asante. God bless you.
We have Hilary Njero anasema Team Raushwa, good morning beautiful souls. #Tega Sikio speaks loudly, move away from comfort and focus, carry on, trust God, and always be ready to learn from failures. Many want to start a business, but sadly are afraid of failure. Udi wewe, Hilary. Anasema Tunde from Bahrain.
All right.
Yes.
Anasema #Tega Sikio. Anasema Sylvia, my personal learning is do not fear to launch out, nor failure or of the process. Anasema stop the excuses and procrastinations, and that will so that I believe this is what you wanted to say. Anasema so that we will not give up waiting on Rachel's Tega Sikio. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Sasa amesema kesho
Wewe wacha ya maneno yako. Asante sana. Hajasema yeye ni nani, but ameongezea hapa chini akasema there is beauty in learning and launching out. Better, it's better than holding back. Asante, God bless you.
We have Faith anasema hi. I have learned a lot from the Tegasikio of today. I have learned that I need to step out of my comfort zone. Thank you so much.
Asante, God bless you.
Yes.
Anasema, si huyu, anasema good morning Team Raushwa.
Good morning.
Anasema hashtag Tegasikio. Yuko wapi? Anasema it is so real. Anasema in today's, yuko wapi? Yes, anasema in fact, that's me. I am a business lady and there's a particular shop I do shopping each and every time to the extent that si lazima niende. I just call. I make orders na naletewa mzigo. It's been a while bila mimi kwenda kufanya shopping. Till yesterday, I went and found new varieties. The shop with varieties and I was like, where? It is good to walk and experience new things that are outside. And I say, stay blessed, and it was Zaitun kutoka Kilifi.
Amazing.
Anasema yeye get comfortable na kufanya online shopping. So jana alitoka alafu akashangaa kuna hizi vitu zote mpya. I think I should go out and experience new things. Which is a really good thing.
I know, that is a very, very good challenge. Kuna mwingine anasema good morning Team Raushwa.
Good morning.
Powerful Tegasikio. Most of the time we want results but don't want to go through the process. Anasema watching when one begins to fail, they become more experienced and able to teach others. God bless you. Watching from Nairobi.
Asante sana.
Yes, it is very important for you to be willing to go through the process. I think nimesema hii severally hapa. Ya kwamba kuna hiyo the comfort zone map, okay? Na hapo ndani ndo kwa comfort zone whereby you feel everything is working the way you want it to. Everything is as you desire. But if you look too comfortable like there's nothing challenging you, then there's a problem. And outside that comfort zone, kuna the fear zone. The moment you step into the fear of the unknown, you don't know what to expect, you don't know what is coming. But the fact that umeamua ku step from that comfort zone unaingia fear zone, and then you get into the learning zone, whereby you'll have to fail so many times, but don't see it as failure. Pick the lessons that you're picking from, whatever experiences you're going to have, and then you'll move into the growth zone. Sawa? Na hapo utaweza ku-flourish. So let's step out of the comfort zone. And then something also I would like to share before we get started with the Bible exposition. There's a very interesting meme, not even interesting, inspiring meme hii niliona, was it yesterday? Whereby mtu alikuwa anasema, I helped someone go up a mountain, and then I realized we were both at the peak. I helped someone climb a mountain, and then I realized we were both at the peak. Know what to do with that.
Whatever you do with that information,
is up to you. But yeah, I helped someone climb a mountain, and I've realized we're both at the peak. So learn something from that.
Learn from that.
Yes.
All right. I will read just one. Ya mwisho. I know we have more, but I can just read one. And then we get into the Tegasikio. Not the Tegasikio, the topic of discussion of today. Anasema powerful MBCI Tegasikio. Anasema today was on point. My name is Henry kutoka upande wa Nyeri. I have learned that God called me to go to the world and conquer and thrive. Anasema overcome situations because I am a champion in Christ. Anasema thank you so much. That was powerful. Asante sana Hillary. We appreciate that you've learned something from that. And if it is true, you know from your heart that you are called for nations, then go for it. Tuseme it will be simple. Kutakuwa na vitu hapa na pale, but as long as God has called you for it, I know that He'll provide people as well to hold your hand. Sawa sawa, so don't give up. Now, our guest is already here with us, and we are here with Pastor David Mwangi. And we always say every day, akikuja hapa, it's usually such a blessing because we get to learn. We get to see things that you hadn't seen, even from the Bible to Kisoma. And I know that today is not going to be different. The only thing is, I know that you're going to learn more and more and more. So, sikubali kubarikiwa peke yako, call other people, call you children, kama wewe ni mzazi na wako nyumbani, or your neighbors or your friends, so that you can get to go through this session together. So as I've said before, we are here with Pastor David Mwangi, and we'll be getting right into the discussion. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Yes, have you been?
Very well. How was your week?
Good. Busy kidogo, but good. Yes.
We thank God.
Yeah.
Mine was also blessed. I thank God even for the gift of life. It's not automatic that you see a new day. We were here last Thursday, and here we are today. So we give thanks to God.
Right.
Because it has taken His mercies and His will for us to be alive.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here.
Amen. You know, there's a lady who said that she thought just waking up and doing her business was very normal. Until one day she woke up and her son didn't just wake up. And nothing, hakukuwa mgonjwa, hakufanya anything, alilala tu. In fact, yeye ndo alikuwa amepika supper the previous day. Akalala tu na hakuamka. And now she was giving this story 1 year later, and she said that for that 1 year, learned that just sleeping healthy and waking up is a blessing. So every day when you wake up, you just tell God, thank you for giving me another chance. So life is such a huge blessing. So we're very happy to have you here.
Asante.
And as we say, we know that we have new people who joined the family. Katikati ya last Thursday and this Thursday. Yes, so probably they haven't seen you on MBCI TV. So just introduce yourself. We said that you have very many hats. Yes, amazing hats. So please introduce yourself and tell them what you do.
Thank you so much. My name is Pastor David Mwangi. I am a minister of the Word of God. I minister with the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Under my father in the Lord, Pastor Enoch Adeboye. I am also a hotelier. I've been in the hotel industry for almost 25 years now. I consult in the tourism sector, and I chair the Nakuru County Tourism Association. So I'm also a family man. I'm married to one woman, and we're blessed with 2 sons.
Amazing. Hey, that's really beautiful. You know, there's something that catches my attention every time, maybe before we get into the recap, there's something that catches my attention every time you do your introduction. When you say where you serve, you only say under your father in the Lord.
Yes.
Maybe in 2 minutes, to digress sana. What is the importance of that? What is the importance of fatherhood, especially for the people who are in ministry?
Yeah, it's you have a covering. You have someone who covers you, because in ministry we have a lot of attacks. And the grace that covers you helps you endure a lot of these attacks and also overcome most of those attacks. So whenever you have a father, you know that before even attacks will defeat you, they have to defeat your father first. So my father in the Lord is Pastor Enoch Adeboye. He's a spiritual man. He has worked with God for many years. He has been the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God for the last 43 years.
Wow.
God has helped him to grow the church. The church now is in over 190 nations of the world. With over 35,000 parishes all over the world. God has blessed him from a university professor. He was, his vision was to become the youngest vice chancellor in Africa at the age of 39. But God took him and made him an overseer of a small church then, which has now really grown. God has gifted him in different ways. He's a father of many. And that's why I'm proud to serve under him. So I'm grateful. So it's always good to have an authority over you. Always good. Don't be happy that mimi niko independent. Don't be happy. Don't be happy, because if you don't have somebody to mentor you, you don't have someone to correct you, you may not even know when you're right or when you're wrong.
True. Okay, I know that has touched someone. That was a deliverance for someone somewhere. Okay.
So today we're picking it from Genesis 36.
Yes.
Maybe we can do a short recap of what we discussed last week, and then we can continue from
sure.
36.
So last week we discussed the life of Jacob. And as I said in the beginning, the Bible is made up of characters. And Jacob is a major character. Major. He's even more major than his father Isaac. He's more major, because it is through Jacob that now we see the tributaries, now the division into different tribes of the tribe of Israel. We were called the sons of Israel. So it is very key. We looked at his sons. And from chapter 36 now, you start to see Jacob almost handing over now the the main person, the main character. And we looked at chapter 35 where Jacob was now going back to Bethel. You remember he stayed for close to 20 years. He was with his father-in-law, Laban, in Haran. So he's now moving. God has told him to move. Now he's moving. And along that journey, he's headed to Bethel. We read in chapter 35, he's headed to Bethel. And God reaffirms what he said in chapter 32, that you will no longer be Jacob, you will be Israel. I'll go with you. I'll multiply your descendants. So God is affirming now what he told Abraham. It was not Abraham to finish. This man will almost finish, but it will go to his children. So he's told by God, go and build an altar on Bethel. Remember that Bethel is where he saw Arada, angels descending and angels ascending. That's where he's being sent back. And when you go look at how God renewed that covenant with him, and along the way Rachel will die, delivering his second-born son, Benjamin. Maybe the reason why he's dying is because he's told the gods of his father. You never know, because his father was mad with that incident. He didn't know it's the daughter who stole. But he will die, and then in that chapter we saw also how Isaac died and was buried by Esau and Jacob. So that was the recap. That's the recap of chapter 35. Now we enter chapter 36 today. We read from verse 1.
All right. So this is the account of the family line of Esau, that is Edom. Esau took his wives from the women of Canaan, Ada, daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibama, daughter of Anna, and granddaughter of Zibeon the Hivite. Also Basmath, daughter of Ishmael, and sister of Nebaioth. Ada bore Eliphaz to Esau, Basmath bore Ruel, and Oholibama bore Jehush, Jaham, and Korah. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in Canaan. Esau.
Thank you. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
In what we call biblical taste, this is not a very tasteful chapter. It doesn't move you. It's a chapter that, to some extent, is a bit boring. Because it is just giving us names. There are about 60-something names you will read in this chapter. But what is the significance of this chapter? The significance of this chapter is in the naming of the genealogy of Esau. Remember, Jacob is the main character, but Esau is a brother, a twin brother. We need to know where Esau went to. You know, remember he went to Mount Seir, which is currently Lebanon. He went to that side. We need to know what happened to him. And this time now, we are being told his genealogy. But the people I want you to note in that genealogy is the Edomite, because Esau is now like the one who started the Edom. In fact, he's called Esau or Edom. Or Edom. Another version will tell you he's called also Edom. So the Edomites will come to fight the children of Israel later.
Oh.
Yes. If you go to the book of Numbers, they will fight the children of Israel. Go to the book of even some parts of First Kings, they will still fight when the children of Israel were going to Canaan, they got to Edom and they fought the children. So the reason why they are being mentioned here, including their kings, if you go down there, you will see the king of Edom and some of the other kings, is because they will counter the children of Israel. It shows how these two brothers, eventually, even if them themselves did not fight, Jacob and Esau did not. Remember, they hugged. Their descendants will become enemies later in life. So it is a chapter that showcases Esau, so that he doesn't disappear just like that. And his descendant. It lists the chiefs and the kings of Edom, and also describe the different tribes and territories that are there. In the Edomite, we call them the Edomite lineage. So it's not a chapter you would dwell so much, but the good thing is to note that chapter 36 is the lineage. Jacob is not mentioned, it's the lineage of Esau and the creation of the Edomite tribe or community.
Okay.
And then we go to chapter 37. From here, Jacob fades. From here now, Jacob fades. He has really, he was a main actor for long. Now he will not be the star in this program again. He fades kidogo until later on when he's giving some opinion in chapter 41, and then he will shine in chapter 49 before he dies. He will shine and die in that chapter. But we'll get there. Okay. In chapter 37, from verse 1, let's read.
It says that Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flock of his brothers, the son of Bilhah and the son of Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought their father a bad report about them. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age. He had made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grains out in the field, when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered round mine and bowed down to it." His brother said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule over us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he said. Then he had another dream, and he told his brothers, "Listen," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me." When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind.
Let's stop at that. It's one chapter that I would love to read from the start to the end, because it's a contrast of chapter 36. Chapter 36 talks of Esau and all those people, but this one is now introducing Joseph at the age of 17. He was his father's favorite because he was a son of old age. Son of old age. There's a saying that says that your first children will take your traits, your skills, but your last children will look like you.
Okay.
Because the skills and traits are gone. They will
so
only
they
take the similarity. Now, he loved this man. And because he was a son of the wife he loved. Remember that story of Rachel? This was a son of Rachel. So he loved Rachel so much. And so he loved this man even more. And even procured for him a coat of many colors. So this particular story is given where this man starts now to dream. That's now, it's still in the line of what Abraham was told, that I will multiply your descendants, you grow, you become great. So he tells them about the first dream, about the shear and how all the others are bowing unto him. Then the second one comes that the moon and the stars and the moon, the sun and the 11 stars are bowing. You know, it created hatred in his siblings, what we call sibling rivalry. And that's why the Bible says that the man's enemy is a member of his house, own household. So including his father. That was surprising. That his father was not happy with him. That was funny because he loved him. We thought, the father would be happy. But when the father heard that even him he will bow, he said, this one, what kind of a dream is this? Because nobody wants to bow before others. And when you continue with the story, they became so angry with him that one day he went to see them. They say, "Here comes the dreamer." And they plotted to kill him. Imagine, your own brother. They plotted to kill him. But Reuben was wicked. Remember, he slept with his father's girlfriend. But he was still a sensical man. He had a lot of sense. He said, "No, we should not kill this boy. Let us throw him into the pit." It is Reuben who said that, the firstborn. Why? Because he wanted to come back and rescue him. So, in fact, he was trying to tell them to leave.
Yeah.
Because he left. If you read that story, he left them there. They threw him into the pit and he left. He thought, when I leave, they will also leave. Then I come back. But I love the spirit of Judah. Remember the spirit of the second Simeon and Levi. Earlier they had killed all men. When this one raped their sister, they had killed all men. So these are brutal men. They are brutal by nature. So they could not be trusted. So Judah said, no, we should not leave this brother here. Let's sell him to these men who are the Ismailis who are passing. He said, we'll make some money. That was a very good idea. They sold him to the Egyptian. He went to Egypt, was sold as a slave to Potiphar, went to Potiphar's house. Because God was still with him. Even when he was in the pit, God was still with him. Even when he was sold, he traveled very comfortably to Egypt. Then he went to Potiphar's house. God was still with him. And he made him controller of the whole house of Potiphar. Until when this time now the wife of Potiphar wanted to sleep with him. And when he refused, the wife ran after him, he dropped his jacket, and the wife told the husband that this man wanted to rape me. And he was thrown into prison. Still in the plan of God. Sometimes it's good to know that even when things are not right, it could still be in the plan of God. Who could think that the plan of God would take you to prison? Prison, of all places. From the pit to donkey back. To somebody's house. Then you are almost comfortable. Then you end up in prison.
In prison again.
And when he was in prison, you read, the Bible says that he got favor with the head of prison. That the head of prison did not even care what Joseph was doing. He was in charge of prison. And that is... later you come to learn that he prophesied. He prophesied two staff of Pharaoh were dropped in prison. And when they were dropped there, they had dreams. Of one said, I had a dream of 3 cups, and then another one had a dream of three baskets on my head, and the birds came and ate bread from the top basket. And he said, okay, this is the interpretation. God will help me interpret. This is the interpretation. You will get back the cupbearer. You will get back your job. And that's why that glass is going to the Pharaoh. But you, the reason why the birds came and ate from your basket, you'll be hanged. And he said 3. The reason why there are 3, these are 3 days. In the next 3 days, that thing will happen. Exactly 3 days, the king had a banquet. He called those 2 prisoners, gave back one his job, and hanged the other. And he told, before the end of this verse, about this chapter, he told this guy, please, when you get to Pharaoh, don't forget me. But this guy forgot him for 2 years. What is the moral of this story? Is the jealousy of siblings. Don't be jealous of someone who is doing better than you. Whether they are your brothers or your colleagues or your sisters. Don't be jealous. Don't envy people. Then don't plan evil against one who God has called. Because you never know. Later on, you'll go to him. You meant evil for them, but God meant well. So when we see the hand of God is in someone's life, please don't fight them. Because you will embarrass yourself later. You see that in the scriptures when you get to chapter 41. So the other story is still there is, no matter what you go through, accusations, if God is still with you, you will overcome all this. So we finish chapter 37. Let's read the last few verses of chapter 37. The last few verses.
Okay. It says that from 34?
Yes.
Okay. It says that 37 verse 34, it says, then Jacob took his clothes, put on sackcloth and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave. So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guards.
So this story tells you that there was deception. They deceived their father that the boy is dead.
Yeah.
That's why they even use blood. They kill the animal. And he really mourned this. He knew that I'm only left with this young child here called Benjamin from the wife that I loved. I've lost my father. I've lost my wife, the two that I loved. And now I've lost the son that I love even the most. But we will get a pause, because the story of Joseph will stop for one chapter when we now enter chapter 38. Let's do chapter 38.
Chapter 38. At that time, Judah left his brothers and went down to stay with a man of Adullam, his name Hira. Then Judah met the daughter of a Canaanite man named Shua. He married her and made love to her. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son who was named Er. She conceived again and gave birth to a son and named him Onan. She gave birth to still another son and named him Shelah. It was at Gibeah that she gave birth to him. Judah got a wife from Er, his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. Then Judah said to Onan, sleep with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty to her as your brother-in-law to raise up offspring for your brother. But Onan knew that the child would not be his, so whenever he slept with the brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground to keep from providing offspring for his brother. What he did was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death also. Judah then said to his daughter-in-law Tamar, live as a widow in your father's household until my son Shelah grows up. For he thought he may die too, just like his brothers. So Tamar went to live in her father's household. After a long time, Judah's wife, the daughter of Shua, died. When Judah had recovered from his grief, he went up to Timnah to the men who were sharing his sheep, and his friend Hira the Adullamite went with him. When Tamar was told, your father-in-law is on his way to Timnah to share his sheep, she took off her widow's clothes, covered herself with a veil to disguise herself, and then sat down at the entrance to Enaim, which is the road to Timnah. For she saw that Shelah had now grown up. She had not been given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. Not realizing that she was his daughter-in-law, he went over to her by the roadside and said, come now, let me sleep with you. And what will you give What will you give me to sleep with you? She asked. I'll send you a young goat from my flock, he said. Will you give me something as I pledge until you send it? She asked. He said, what pledge shall I give you? Your seal and its cord and the staff in your hand, she answered. So he gave them to her and slept with her, and she became pregnant by him. After she left, she took off her veil and put on her widow's clothes again.
Okay. It's a very funny story, because I have my favorites, and I loved this man Judah. You remember, he saved his brother.
Yeah.
Said, let's sell our brother. And Judah has a spirit, but has weakness. In fact, it is through Judah, when you read chapter 49, that Jesus woke up. Of all the children of Israel. That's why Jesus is called the Lion of Judah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. It's through the tribe of Judah that the lineage of even David or Boaz, all of them will come from the lineage of Judah. But this Judah, the reason why we are posting the story of Joseph to focus, the whole chapter is focusing on Judah, is because there is a message here. Judah married and got 3 children. And his wife died. Then his son, the firstborn, Er, his name was, in fact, what I forgot to mention in chapter 36 is that apart from having so many names, you can get a name for a child easily from that chapter. So if you're looking for, like that, there's one beautiful name there in chapter, can you go back to chapter 36?
36.
It's Mali something, with a beautiful name. So if you're having your naming ceremony, yes, and then another one, there's a long one there. the beginning to hapo.
The beginning, okay. Oholibama.
Yes, Oholibama.
Yeah.
It's a good name. It's a beautiful name. So.
Si mtoto atashika bana. Atajua kuandika.
Watu unaenda unauliza who are you? My name is Oholibama. Oholibama. Yeah. So this particular guy called Judah had his son, first son El, and El got a wife, and the man was wicked in God's sight. I don't know what he did. Imagine. I have no record of what he did, but he was wicked in the sight of God, and God killed him. Sometimes when you're wicked, God can just say to kill you. Ukiona tu wanakufa tu na ujui shida yao. Maybe they were wicked in the sight of God, and God killed him. And his wife, who was a beautiful wife, became a widow. And it's by tradition the second brother is supposed to inherit the first wife, so that the lineage of heir, the children, when you inherit a wife, the children will not be yours. You give birth to children, but they will belong to your brother, your late brother. So Onan did not like that. Onan would sleep with this woman, but spill the semen outside. It's a sin. It's wickedness. It's wickedness. You know, it's common, but it's wickedness. Because God killed him for that. Why would you enjoy and not make the woman also enjoy by bearing children? God killed Onan for that. Imagine. Men should be careful. Unaweza kuwa ushindo niliwawa kwa nini? Maybe there's
something you did.
Something you did to somebody's daughter. And God wanted to bless the daughter with a child. Yeah, so God killed Onan. And then Judah lied to this widow that wait for the youngest to at least grow, and when he's of age, you get children through him. But when he was growing, akaona mzee amechange mind. Ajua sasa unijui. I came here to get children. I'll get children with you. You the father, because the second born did not satisfy me. You are delaying the third born. So this woman disguised as a prostitute. Imagine Judah, the whole Judah. Imagine the little guy we love. Ndio huyo akaenda akachukua prostitute. That's why they say prostitution is the oldest trade. She disguised, akamwambia nipe pete yako, hiyo mkwaju yako na koti yako. Kama una kondoo ya kunipea sahi. And akamalizana naye, went, brought in that goat, and the lady was not there. Akauliza, there's a lady who was here. There was a prostitute here. Kasema no, kuna prostitute kama huyo hapa. Akanyamaza. So when she became pregnant for twins, you see them there. She became pregnant out of that one incident. Became pregnant. You don't need a whole 1 year to date. One incident like he. Twins. So became pregnant of twins, and it was wickedness, because who has slept with this widow? So they wanted to stone her, kill her, and whoever impregnated her. So Judah was like, who did this? Akuje. They need to face death. So the lady said, okay, the owner of this pregnancy is the owner of this thing, this stuff, and this jacket. Could you be knowing the owner? Kasama ni zangu. Hizo vitu ni zangu. Yeah, so gave birth to Perez and Zerah, the twins. So that story gives us the morality, the morality of lack of it in men, and how God sometimes use disgusting situations to fulfill, because later on you will find the Perez and Zerah also becoming communities that came from Judah. Judah lost his wife, lost his 2 sons, and now gave birth to, it was a wickedness. And then out of that wickedness, God chooses that as the family of Jesus. This particular man who is doing incest, sleeping with his daughter-in-law, and his sons are dying just like that. That particular man is what God wants to use to become the tribe of Judah.
Why was he still used after all that?
It's because God is a miraculous God. He doesn't use the sharpened swords.
But in the same chapter, there's one who was killed because of wickedness.
Yeah, that's why it says in the eyes of God, not in the eyes of men. He was wicked in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
So there's a way God look at wickedness, and there's a way God look at the lineage and the purpose and the plan He has for the whole generation. So this chapter is one chapter that you will not understand. Why God will kill one and keep another?
Yeah.
Why did God not kill Judah when he slept with his sister, with his daughter-in-law? So it's a big story. But out of the whole of that mess, Jesus came from Judah.
Wow.
Out of the whole of that mess. Then we go to chapter 39. You know, because it's the story of Joseph, that's why tunaenda haraka.
Yeah.
I told you when it's one character, we move faster than others.
Yeah. So chapter 39, now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard, brought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered and he lived in the house of the Egyptian master. When the master saw that the Lord was with him and the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household and entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. When Joseph was in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Yeah.
So that's the story of the first place that Joseph landed when he was sold to the Egyptian, and he's in the house of Potiphar. Potiphar was a great man before Pharaoh. He was like a minister before Pharaoh, so he was a great man. And Potiphar loved this Joseph. He loved him, and that's why. The whole of verse 1 to verse 23, we are seeing how Potiphar entrusted Joseph with everything. In fact, he told him, I entrust you with everything apart from my wife. Everything here, it's under your command. But later on, you'll find that this Potiphar liked this Potiphar's wife liked this Joseph and wanted to sleep with him, and then a lot of stories, they orchestrated the case. And let's now read the last few verses of that chapter, because they wanted him to be jailed, and eventually, because Potiphar was a powerful man, he ended up in jail. But it was still in the plan of God.
Okay. From 19?
Yes, let's do 19.
Okay. When his master heard the story, his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me." He burnt with anger. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those who were held in prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care, because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did.
Imagine. The Bible says that the Lord was with Joseph. So every time the Lord is with you, one thing will be evident: favor. One thing will be evident.
Favor.
So for you to know whether the Lord is with you, look at how you are struggling in life. Because favor is the opposite of labor. Favor. If you want to know that God is with you, instead of laboring so much, you'll be favored. You'll be favored. You go to places, wanasema kaa tu hapa. You go to places and you are set in the high table. You go to places and they give you responsibilities that have good rewards. You go to places and then all of a sudden you'll be taken from a queue. I remember one of our fathers in the Lord was queuing in one big international, busy international, and he was really late. He knew that if I don't get to the end of this queue in good time, this flight might leave me. All of a sudden, A supervisor came and he said, why don't we have enough attendant here? He introduced a new attendant and cut the line from where this man was. He became number one. He became number one in the new line. And that was favor. That was favor. You're chunguliaring like this to see where the cashier is. And then all of a sudden, unaambiwa enda tu wa kwanza. Ingia tu wa kwanza. So favor was with Joseph, even in prison. And when we'd be now jumping to chapter 40, you'll see how, because he was favored, the environment was even conducive for him to do interpretation.
Right. Yeah. Perfecto. Now, as we come back, we'll be coming back for chapter 40, so that we'll get to see the interpretation of the dream. It's also a very, very interesting chapter. But for now, let's take a very short break. Alafu tutakuwa tukirudi. I want you to think about what we've just been told about favor. Sometimes we labor so much, not knowing that we'll get favor from God and everything would flow, right? So let's go for a very short break and then we'll be coming right back.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
This September, we are igniting the fire of revival. The Revival Fire Conference Nakuru, internationally renowned, anointed servant of God, Brother Seymour and Lazarus of Jesus Redeems Ministry from India will be ministering. Hosted by Apostle John Kemani William, the Director of the National Prayer Committee. Join believers from all denominations from Friday 6th to Sunday 8th September 2024, daily from 9 a.m. at the Harvest Cathedral inside Kingdom Seekers Fellowship, Nakuru, as we gather for 3 days of prayers, worship, destiny-defining messages, and life-changing encounters with God. Revival Fire Conference Nakuru is an interdenominational conference, free and open to
providing holistic healthcare solutions.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
All right, we are back, and we're back so that we can now continue from chapter 40. And just before we went for that short break, tulikuwa tumeangalia chapter 39, and we've learned that God can really favor you such that you'll not struggle. And I've loved how Pastor David Mwangi ameweka that favor is the opposite of struggle. So ukiona una struggle sana in a certain area, ask God to favor you in that particular area. Sawa sawa?
Yes.
Now we are moving on swiftly to chapter 40.
Chapter 40, yeah, after now the prison story. And God has favored Joseph, because he's still with him in prison. He has become now like the first among equals, among the prisoners. Now we go to chapter 40. Let's read from verse 1.
Okay. So sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and put them in his custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the same prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he attended them. After they had been in custody for some time, each of the two men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, saw that they were dejected. So when he asked Pharaoh's officials who were in custody with him in his master's house, "Why do you look so sad today?" "We both had dreams," they answered, "but there was no one to interpret them." Then Joseph said to them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams. So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his dream. He said to him, in my dream I saw a vine in front of me, and on the vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup, and put the cup in his hand. This is what it means. Joseph said to him, the 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison. I was forcibly carried off from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I have done nothing to deserve being put in a dungeon. When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given a favorable interpretation, he said to Joseph, I too had a dream. On my head were 3 baskets of bread. In the top basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them out of the basket on my head. This is what it means. Joseph said, the 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift off your head and impale your body on a pole, and the birds will eat away your flesh. Now that day was Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his officials. He lifted up the heads of the chief cupbearer and the chief baker in the presence of his officials. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position so that he once again put the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he impaled the chief baker just as Joseph had said to them in his interpretation.
Thank you.
The chief cupbearer, however, did not remember Joseph, but he forgot him.
Imagine. That's how life is.
Yeah.
People will help you to become who you are now, but you forget them easily. But that is the end. The beginning is the beginning of the mission of Joseph, the purpose of his life.
Yeah.
The dream he started by dreaming, he has now converted to interpreter, to becoming an interpreter.
Yeah.
It is one thing to dream, but to interpret the dreams is another thing.
Yeah.
So he interpreted the dream of this cupbearer and the baker. And exactly what we have read is what happened.
What happened.
And that was like sending your CV, giving somebody your CV, and they put that CV under their shares. It has happened in the real life. People who are in position of influence, instead of mentioning you, people are even looking for, the same companies are looking for people to employ, but they don't even remember you. They don't even remember you. It is until now when when Pharaoh requested for an interpreter, they said, oh, I know one. I know one. And it's because there was no one else there to interpret. But if it was just a matter of just working, he would not have remembered Joseph. So the king had a dream. And this dream was a very serious dream. And that's now when Joseph was remembered. And he came. And this one will lead us now into chapter 41, because that's a very key chapter. Because he has now been remembered. Let's go to chapter 41 and read from verse 1.
Right. It says that when 2 full years had passed, Pharaoh had a dream. He was standing by the Nile, when out of the river there came up 7 cows, sleek and fat, and they grazed among the reeds. After them, 7 other cows, ugly and gowned, came up out of the Nile and stood beside those on the river bank. The cows that were ugly and gowned ate up the 7 sleek fat cows. Then Pharaoh woke up. He fell asleep again, and the second dream, 7 heads of grain, healthy and good, were growing on a single stalk. After them, 7 other heads of grain sprouted, thin and scorched by the east wind. Then the thin heads of grains swallowed up the 7 healthy ones, the 7 healthy, full of heads, or full heads. Then Pharaoh woke up, and it had been a bad dream. In the morning, his mind was troubled, so he sent for all the magicians and the wise men of Egypt. Pharaoh told them his dream, but no one could interpret for him. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, "Today I'm reminded of my shortcomings. Pharaoh was once angry with his servants, and he imprisoned me and the chief baker in the house of the captain of the guards. Each of us had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. Now a young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he interpreted them for us, giving each man an interpretation of his dreams. And the things turned out exactly as he interpreted them to us. I was restored to my position, and the other man was impaled." So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought to the garden. Yes, he had shaved and changed his clothes. He came before Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I had a dream, and no one can interpret it. But I have heard it said of you, when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. I cannot do it." Joseph replied to Pharaoh, "But God will give Pharaoh the answers he desires."
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted us to get to that point, because Pharaoh had a very serious dream. 7 fat cows and 7 thin cows. 7 shear heads that were eating on the other shear heads. And even the ones that were slim, they were not even fattening. So he wanted interpretation. Note here, he called all the astrologers, all the sorcerers. They could not interpret. Because it was in the will of God for Joseph to come. Because it is God who created even all these wicked men. Everyone is created by God. So even the knowledge they have came from God. The evil knowledge came from God. So this time, I want you to note 2 things. Number 1 is that Joseph was still hopeful that he would be remembered, and he was remembered in 2 years. After 2 years. Secondly, when he was called, he did not just rush. He did not go as a prisoner. He shaved and dressed well. When you are called before authority, when you are called before your helpers, you don't just go there to show your desperation. Just go there, shaved well and looking good. Because you will be addressed the way you are dressed. That is the point. So he appeared before Pharaoh. Then don't take credit that is not yours. Look at what he answered. The Pharaoh said, look at that verse. He said, "I have been told of you, it has been said of you that you can interpret."
Then he said, "I can't."
He said, "I can't." That was funny.
Verse 16.
Why since you can't and we know you can? How comes you can't? He said, "No, it is God who will do it." So please don't. I have seen many people chest dumping on the streets of these cities. Just because you are educated, just because you have capacity, you have a skill, then you think that it has come from you. You don't want to give credit where it belongs. You don't want to put God where he belongs. You want to take glory. God will not share his glory with man. So Joseph said, "No, it is not me who will interpret. It is God who will interpret through me. So I will tell you what God is saying, not what I'm saying." And he interpreted, and he told him these are 7 years of abundance and then 7 years of famine, not just here, everywhere. So you need a very good man who will give you a good strategy to store grain for the next 7 years of famine. And because of giving the interpretation and the solution, he already created a position for himself. He did not just say, you'll be having seven years of abundance and 7 years of famine. He said that you need a man with proper mind. And he said, "No, I'm not looking for another man. You are the one with that proper mind. I know my people here now. You are the one." Nobody has that kind of brain now. Please forget about prison. Forget about prison. From today, you are that man you have described. And this guy really worked. He had a beautiful home. You'll see that later. He really worked. And he was promoted. If you read now from verse, look at verse 37. Lead from that verse 37 to 43. Look at this promotion.
Okay. Asema, the plan seemed good to Pharaoh and all his officials. So Pharaoh asked them, can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. You shall be in charge of my palace, and all my people are to submit to your orders. Only with respect to the throne will I be greater than you.
Look at that promotion.
Yeah.
It's only the throne that I will be greater. Where do you want to kitu?
Yeah.
From prison.
And besides that, he was given a wife.
Yeah.
I don't want you to start chasing girls here.
Yeah.
I will give you a wife. Forget about that Potiphar's wife who was chasing after you. I'm going to give you a wife. And he was given a wife called Asenath, who was a daughter of Potiphar. That one you can see in verse 45 all the way to 52. And what is the story here? It's the story that it doesn't matter where you are today. Where God wants you to be. It's just a fraction of time.
Yeah.
From prison to palace. Straight.
Palace.
And the interview here is the skill God has given unto you. If you go to Exodus chapter 30, Exodus chapter 31, you will find another man there who the Bible says, God told Moses, I have put skills in this man. Bezalel, I have put skills in Bezalel, son of Eli, for workmanship, to work in gold and in timber. So it is God who puts skills in men. So your CV should not be written. Your CV should be action and words. That you can go there and speak and say, this is what the Lord is saying. Stop everybody and say, thus says the Lord. And look at the way Pharaoh is saying, where can we get a man in whose the Spirit of God is? This man. As wicked as Pharaoh was, he knew this man has
the Spirit of
the Lord. So that's a wonderful. I want us to jump to chapter 42 now to see now Joseph at work. From verse 1.
Okay. When Jacob learned that there were grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, why do you just keep looking at each other? He continued, I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy some for us, so that we may live and not die. Then 10 of Joseph's brothers went to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Benjamin, Joseph's brother, with the others because he was afraid that harm might come to him. So Israel's sons were among those who went to buy grain from there when there was a famine in the land of Canaan also. Now Joseph was the governor of the land, the person who sold grain to all its people. So when Joseph's brothers arrived, they bowed down to him with their faces on the ground. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. Where do you come from? He asked. From the land of Canaan, they replied, to buy food. Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Then he remembered his dreams about them and said to them, you are spies. You have come to see where our land is unprotected. No, my lord, they answered. Your servants have come to buy food. We are all the sons of one man. Your servants are honest men, not spies. No, he said to them, you have come to see where our land is unprotected. But they replied, your servants were 12 brothers, the sons of one man who lives in the land of Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and one is no more.
Let's stop at that.
Yeah.
Look at this story now. It has started now to unfold. We are moving now from Egypt to Canaan again. Because God wants to bring the whole of these Canaanites into Egypt. The story Exodus, if what about that. So Joseph, in his office, the whole of this famine was only for one family. The family of Jacob. Every other person was suffering because of the plan of God. Imagine. Something can be happening here in Nakuru because of one family. Because God wants to align his will with the family. So Jacob sends his children to go and buy grain in Egypt, because the whole of this other area is famine. So they were sent there, and he noted them. Joseph noted them. But look at it this way. How many years now?
So many years.
It is, we are talking of 2 years in prison. He was 17. 2 years in prison. Then that is 19. Then 7 years of famine, because of Peter. No, 7 years of abundance. Now we are in the next 7 years of famine. Maybe apo katikati. Maybe around 9 years from the first 7 years. So we are talking of close to 12, 13 years. Can you forget your brother in 12, 13 years? It means the glory of God was so much on Joseph, you could not recognize him. Imagine we are in 2024. Somebody who saw you in 2011, and is your brother and your sister. Look at that. They did not recognize him. But because God wanted him to recognize them, he recognized them. And continued, told them, no, you are spies. They said, no, we are sons of one man. We are 12 of us. He said, okay, this is what he said. If you are not spies, leave one man here. Go and bring that last bone. You say you have a last bone. That is the only test. If it's true you have a last bone, bring the last bone. He knew that he was his brother. Benjamin was his mother's son. There were only two brothers. Were Rachel. So so when they went back home, they returned to Jacob. Look at verse 29. In fact, they were in prison first for 3 days. They were in prison. You look at verse 16 to 24. They were imprisoned for 3 days. And then one of them decided to stay. Should be Simeon. Should be Simeon who decided to stay. One of them stayed. But let us look at verse 29. Able to answer 29.
When they came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them. They said, the man who is Lord over the land spoke harshly to us and treated us as though we were spying on the land. But we said to him, we are honest men, we are not spies. We were 12 brothers, sons of one father. One is no more, and the youngest is now with our father in Canaan. Then the man who is Lord over the land said to us, this is how I will know whether you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me and take food for your starving households and go. But bring your youngest brother to me, so I will know that you are not spies, but honest men. Then I will give your brother back to you, and you can trade in the land. As they were emptying their sacks, in each man's sack was his pouch of silver. When they and their father saw the money pouches, they were frightened. But their father Jacob said to them, you have deprived me of my children. Joseph is no more, and Simeon is no more, and now you want to take Benjamin. Everything is against me.
Let's talk about that. Look at this man. He's wounded now. Simeon is left there as a slave. Joseph is dead, according to him, according to the story was told. Now you want to take Benjamin. You're just killing me. You're just killing me. But later you will see that he reluctantly, I don't know how many minutes we have, because I want us to jump to chapter 43.
Okay, we have like 4 minutes.
Okay. Let's jump to chapter 43 so that you understand. After reluctantly convincing, after he was convinced, reluctantly, he said, let it happen.
Just go.
You know, he did not carry money. He did not accept their money. He put money back in their food. Because you know, this, I don't know, need to get money from my father. Let's jump to chapter 43.
Okay. 43.
Let's read from verse 1 to 10 quickly.
All right. It said, now the famine was still severe in the land. So when they had eaten all their grains they brought from Egypt, their father said to them, go back and buy a little more food. But Judah said to him, the man warned us solemnly, if you will not see my face again unless your brother is with you. So if you will send our brother along with us, we will go down and buy food for you. But if you will not send him, we will not go down, because the man said to us, you will not see my face again unless your brother is here with you. Israel asked, why did you bring this trouble to me by telling the man you had another brother? They replied, the man questioned us closely about ourselves and our family. Is your father still living? He asked us. do you have another brother? We simply answered his questions. How were we to know? He would say, bring your brother down here. Then Judah said to Israel, his father, send the boy along with me, and we will go at once, so that we and you and our children may live and not die. I myself will guarantee his safety. You can hold me personally responsible for him if I do not bring him back to you and set him here before you. I will bear the blame before you all my life. As it is, if we had not delayed, we could have gone and returned twice.
Thank you. So we see now again the character of Judah.
Yeah.
I told you this guy has like a sweet spirit.
Yeah.
He said, Father, let me go with Benjamin.
Yeah.
I will take the responsibility. If anything happens, it is me. If anything happens.
Yeah.
It's me.
And when they went, in fact, Judah volunteered to become a slave so that Benjamin can be released. And they went to Egypt. And Joseph saw Benjamin. Very happy. In fact, he almost let the cat out of the bag when he served him 5 portions. Food. All the others were getting 1 portion. Then he got 5 portions. And they were like, hey,
Benjamin.
Why is it happening like this? But still then, he has not revealed himself to them. And he invited them to dine with him. And when you look at from verse 16 all the way, he was so kind to Benjamin. And then he chased them away. They were given another sack with a lot of food. Then he put a cup. He asked people to put his cup in Benjamin's bag. So when they had just gone, he ran after them. He said, you have stolen the governor's cup. And he said, whoever, in fact, Judah said, whoever has stolen will die. We just die. No, we don't want to fight with this. And look at these key verses in that chapter. Like verse 14. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man. Look at this blessing. Sometimes you need some word before you go. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be believed of my children, I am believed. Look at that prayer. Look at verse 29. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin. Look at Joseph. And you see, he was talking through interpreter, but he could hear what they are saying. He could hear. His mother's son, and said, is this your younger brother, of whom you spoke unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. He was too excited. And I'm so happy when we get to chapter 44, we'll look at the silver cup in Benjamin, and then he will reveal himself who he is. And the story will continue. I know next week we shall be done with the book of Genesis.
Wow.
Once we start with chapter 44, we go all the way to chapter 50, where we'll see the death of Joseph, the death of Jacob in 49, and the death of Joseph. And then the whole Bible will open up from Exodus.
Wow. Okay. Partly sad that you're almost finishing the book of Genesis, but it has
one
been
week.
But it has been so sweet. We've learned so much. And in this chapter, I'm just thinking, the whole time Judah must be remembering that his brother Joseph was sold to Egypt. Hata wakienda Egypt, hata hajiulizi brother wangu anaweza kuwa wapi huko.
Imagine.
Because there's nowhere as brothers wanajiuliza, we sold our brother in these lands.
Yes, where could he be?
Anaweza kuwa mahali labda tatusaidia during this time of drought. Imagine they don't even remember. Like human beings.
They don't.
Human beings.
And then also, God will conceal some things. Lazima conceal mind yao. Kwanza akaconceal hata wamujui. Anakaa, I was thinking why maybe they could not recognize him. It's because in Egypt, Pharaoh wanavaga ile kitu. Wanavaa hiyo kitu hapa. So even the dress code is different from the Hebrews. Mahebrew, unajua, in fact, when you read the Bible later, you hear when they were introduced, when the whole family came and they were introduced to Pharaoh. Egyptians didn't like what do we call them, hunters, hunters and wafugaji. They look like nomadic people, like pastoralists. Egyptians didn't like them. In fact, the Bible says it's a taboo. It was like a taboo in Egypt to be looking after your own flock. So they were not, Hebrews were despised.
Also, that's the reason why they had to wakawekwa peke yao.
Yes. In fact, it was a taboo to eat with a Hebrew. Yeah, it was a taboo. But you see, the first dream was, I saw 11 stars bowing at me. When they came, the first thing they did is to bow. Akajua dream number 1. Sasa imebaki tu ya nyota na jua. Nyota na jua zitakuja soon. Na zitabow tu.
Hey, all right. So that has been it. Tumefika chapter 43. I hope that you've learned something from the same. And I know very soon we'll be doing a recap just to see what were the highlights. Yani mimi bado nakanga na nakumbuka chapter 5. It's something enye will stick na mimi and I think it'll stick na mimi forever. The genealogy and all that. So I know that we'll have a week where we'll be doing a recap just to get to know ni term gani ama ni part gani ya Genesis ndio ilikuwa highlight kwako, or what are some of the things that you did learn from the same. But today I know that you've learned a lot. Sawa sawa. So thank you so much for tuning in. Just to tell you about tomorrow being a Friday. Najua every Friday tunakuanga na waimbaji hapa, but tomorrow will be a little bit different because we know that fire of flames of fire. Yes. Inaanza kesho.
Revival conference.
Yes, inaanza kesho. Date 6, as you can see on your screens. Inaanza date 6 mpaka date 8. And it's going to be really amazing because right here at Kingdom Seekers Fellowship, Harvest Cathedral, upper church, the main church, ukiingia to the main church, we'll be having the fire of revival. And we'll be having Brother Lazarus and of course Apostle John Kimani Williams, and we'll be having an amazing time. So tomorrow we'll be having a man of God who will be telling us about the same, how the conference, how they've prepared the conference and what we are expecting. So that hata wewe ukiwa hapo nyumbani utakuja and you'll know for you to come, what do you need? Kama unakuja na unaishi mbali and you need some accommodation, how do you go about it? So tomorrow we'll be talking about this conference that will be starting tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be really, really amazing. So for now, tupate today's inspiration so that tuone mambo yako namna gani. Yes, as you can see on your screens here sasa, ni the conference yenye itakuwa inaanza kesho as it now. There it is, 3 days conference inaitwa Revival Fire Conference. It's going to be really amazing. Yani this one you don't want to miss. You do not want to miss. Sawa sawa?
Yes.
So tupate today's inspiration, tuone vile tunakuwa inspired leo and what we are getting from today's inspiration as we wind up today's show. Yep, and today's show pia ni ingine utakani kusahau. You see those days when ambiwanga kitu and it sticks with you for life? This has been one of those. Yeah. But tusiingilie hiyo maneno sana kwa sababu najua tutakuwa na hiyo day as we've said. So for now, acha tupate today's inspiration.
Amazing. So we have today's inspiration. Na ukiangalia runinga yako inasema hivi: the pessimist complains about the wind, optimist expects it to change, realist adjusts the sails. What do you believe yourself? And that is who you are. Amazing. So the pessimist ana complain kuhusu the wind, the optimist ana expect to change, the realist ana adjust the sails. So what do you believe yourself? And that is who you are.
So be a realist. Si mambo ya delusional. Yeah. So be a realist. Unaangalia vile vitu ziko and then you adjust so that you go. According to the Gen Z, vile wanasemanga nowadays that the solulu is the delulu is the solulu. So delusional is not the solution. You have to be a realist. You see how things are going and you adjust to to eat. All right?
Yes.
So God bless you. God be with you. We're going to see you tomorrow right here. Daniel Raushwa on MBCI TV. Until then, God bless you. God be with you. And we love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. We do value your time highly. And Pasi, thank you so much for coming. We value your time. Thank you for allowing to be here today. Yes.
And my name is Sylvia Wanja. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, God willing. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the viewing. Have a beautiful day. Be blessed. God is with you in everything that you do. And remember to always seek Him in everything that you are doing. So,
yeah,
that's it.
And now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen and amen.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.